Anybody that's listening to this, watching this, or is going to watch this in the future, please understand we are not trained medical technicians, nor do we give a fuck about health. Hence the name Two Drunks in a Bottle.
Cheap whiskey flows, falling through the night, no place to go. Broken dreams and shattered fights. Two drunks and a bottle takes flight. Empty pockets, shattered holes, swimming liquor, drowning woes. Faceless shadows, fading light. Two drunks in a bottle outside, bleeding hearts on dirty ground, shattered bottles echo sound, no salvation nowhere found. Two drunks in a bottle bound, hit the pavement cold and hard.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Two Drunks in a Bottle. I'm BB.
I'm Hunter.
As you all see, we are doing the first live stream of 2025 in the new bar.
You're here.
We built a bar, guys. That's what we did. No more green screens. No more special effects for Hunter and stuff like that.
Got our own setup.
We got our own setup. We went to our roots and said, let's build a bar. And we did it.
Made it happen.
So, what are we drinking tonight at the new bar?
I believe it was something that was given to us, correct?
It was a Christmas gift.
Bought it. I'm going to go with this one just because it doesn't look like it's been open. We're touched. We got the Wilderness Trail, y'all. Bourbon whiskey. Kentucky Straight.
This was bought for me because they thought that the bottle looked cool.
I do like that. It's indented right here. I don't know if they can see it, but I like that.
What proof is that sitting at?
Looking at 100 proof.
Whew.
Oh, yeah. Good old boy there. I like their little logo they have. It's like the tree with the W and the T.
It's a neat looking bottle for sure.
Nice color on it, too.
I'm going to pour us a shot and
Get this thing started.
yeah, kick it off.
As y'all can see behind us, we also have signatures on this wall. For every guest that we have, we're going to have them sign the wall. We already had me and BB sign it along with our producer and another guest that y'all didn't get to see, but Lip. We had him back for a quick little episode. So he's got to sign it first as a guest. Hopefully we'll have this wall filled up with a lot of signatures before too long. That's going to be our goal this year. Good.
So, I guess for the first little bit of this, let's talk about yeah, I smelled it as I was pouring them.
That's like a Jameson right there.
Let's for the first little bit of this, let's talk about like what our goals are for 2025 and what we have in store for 2025.
All right. So I know that we are going to make some more specials. I know before New Year's was our big special. We kind of want to add more specials throughout the year. Did we tell them our next big special?
I mean, we teased it last night on the Aftermath. We Timmy is the host of the Aftermath on the Delta BB on YouTube. And that was one of the things that got discussed with him. We had talked about the New Year special because we had a New Year special.
Yeah.
It just didn't get aired. Because we want to make sure that you guys have quality content, and it wasn't up to par, and so we cut it out. But yeah, you can feel free to share.
So I know the next big special that's going to come up is St. Patrick's Day. That's something that we wanted to hit on last year. We weren't able to do it because of work, trying to work around that. But this year we are make sure we have off. So we will be doing that weekend. I believe St. Patty's is that Monday, so y'all should be able to see us Sunday. But yeah, that's gonna be our next one. We're working on adding a couple more throughout the year, but we're trying to make sure we don't have just maybe 1 or 2 specials. We want a couple throughout the year for y'all.
I'm glad that you brought that up because the Infinity Bottle
Ooh,
is
yes.
normally what's included in the specials.
Yep.
So we're going to be doing the Infinity Bottle a little bit different over the next year. But we did last year when we started the Infinity Bottle, we were just letting people kind of pour what they wanted to in it. And instead, we're going to have one set shot glass that is just for each Infinity Bottle and say, this is what you had to pour in it.
Yep.
You can only do a shot. And whether that bottle gets half full or completely full, it doesn't matter. We'll do it on a special.
Sounds good.
Kind of keep
I mean, we ran into that.
mixture
you know,
even.
When we first started, everybody was being nice with it, was just pouring, but then we did run into a couple people, they just kind of let it go.
They're like, yep, I'm done.
And that one was rough. That's something that y'all didn't get to see. We did drink on that Infinity Bottle. It was something else. It was a beast. And the way it was layered, but I think because so many people pour different amounts of it, you can kind of taste it. Like some parts are a lot stronger. But yeah, it
The
was
last thing that
rough.
went in it was vanilla. And
I got
vanilla
that
was
right off.
the top.
Yep.
And then yeah, it went from sweet to spicy
Oh yeah.
really quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Oh.
Pretty sure I cleaned my liver out.
Yeah.
As Decoy NDA said, I probably pickled my liver.
For sure. Yeah, it took a couple days to come back too.
Woo, woo.
Wrong one. Cheers. Ooh,
It almost took my breath away.
heavy on the nose. Like, exhaling out of the nose a little bit. Burned. That's how you can tell, like,
Oh.
that proof is up there. Hot.
Damn, facial hair.
Damn.
Ooh,
Burns your facial hair off? as
yeah,
well?
burned my facial hair off.
That, I feel warm now.
Trying to think about what to pair it to because it's not Jameson.
It's not straight, no.
Um,
The smell of it was like a Jameson. It was a lot stronger than Jameson, though. The taste is nothing like Jameson.
what is that Special Makers? Special Makers Mart. See what it is. Bear with me for a sec. Of course, they're gonna make me enter my birthday. We're getting old as fuck.
I know I got to keep scrolling down the years just to get to mine now.
So, Maker's 46. That's a really stout one that it kind of reminds me of. It's aged longer with special seared French oak staves, with subtly layered bourbon notes and balanced complexity. That's a stout. That's a really stout one. That's what that kind of reminds me of. Like if you're not anticipating it, it's gonna take your breath away
Oh, yeah.
as you're shooting it.
100%.
I'm betting that this is gonna taste wonderful over ice.
You could tell, like, when drinks are made to sip on and be enjoyed versus a straight shooter. That is not a shooter. That is definitely meant to be enjoyed,
Yep.
whether it be straight or over ice.
We're gonna mix it with Coke. Try and keep with that classic whiskey mix to see how it does with Coke. I don't think that it's gonna do well as a mixer either. I think it'll be okay, but I don't think it's gonna do well as a mixer.
I can see something maybe light with it.
I mean, I got some ginger ale too. We could always do ginger ale with it instead of Coke.
I say either or. I'd be down to try either or of them. But yeah, to me, I would say that one wouldn't be. I think it would take away from the Coke almost.
I'm glad that you said what you just said, because that brings up another point of some changes in 2025. You said that you would be down to try either or. You didn't say that you'd be down to try both.
Yeah.
We have a format, and in 2025, we are telling ourselves we're going to stick to the format because the goal of this is not to get shit-faced drunk.
No.
No one wants to watch two rambling idiots. Instead, you'd rather watch us sober idiots start to get a little buzz. And that's kind of the goal. So I'm glad that you had said that because we are going to be more strict on sticking to the format.
Yeah. I mean, we want to be able to still talk to you guys. If y'all are chatting with us, we want to make sure we can actually read the chat. You know, we
We've
want to
had
be a
some
little
nights where we
coherent.
couldn't.
Yeah, we want to be coherent. You know, it's like he said before. I can't remember if he said it on screen or camera, but when y'all watch us, you know, y'all aren't here, so most of the time y'all are not on our level with the drinking. I mean, some of y'all might be. I mean, we're not sure, but for those that aren't, y'all might not be able to understand us. I could talk to him all night long and understand every word, but that's because me and him are just going back and forth. So we want to make sure everybody that's watching is able to understand all of us. There's no fun when you watch a stream and you can't understand a word they're saying. That's
Yeah,
I'm gonna turn it off. You know?
to us, to me, like going back and watching something like that, it's not enjoyable. It's embarrassing to the brand, and that's something that we have to take into consideration is the brand and what we built, and is it worth tarnishing that reputation?
Yeah, it's all about what we see in the future.
Or a
Like,
good
where do we
time.
want to end up at? Do we want to be just like a laugh, a goof, or do we want to become like an actual podcast? That's what we're aiming for.
The goal is the actual podcast,
Yeah.
for sure. So we're gonna move over, I guess, to the next segment. We spent about 20 minutes so far on this topic,
About 13 or so.
about 13. So we're cutting it a little short, but we can only talk about goals and plans of 2025 for so long, right?
Yeah.
What's the topic you want to talk about?
You know, I've been watching a couple stuff here lately. So what if we move it with movies and TV shows? I kind of want to say movies or TV shows just because you might have seen a good movie, but I might have seen a TV show.
Yep.
So has there been any movies or TV shows, I guess since it is the New Year's, so last year, was there anything that kind of hit you, either a movie or a show?
So the last movie side that I would say would be the new movie that had Jason Bateman in it, Carry On.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
That movie ended up being really good. It was kind of weird, Jason Bateman playing as a bad guy because that's not his normal role.
Yep.
But it reminded me of other movies inside of that movie. It reminded me of that movie Phone Booth.
Yep.
And then it reminded me of the movie Cellular at the same
Yep.
time.
I can understand both.
It had hints of both of those movies in it.
100%. And it's funny that you say with Bateman being like the villain of the movie. Before I even watched it, I had a coworker come up to me and they said the same thing. They were like, you got to check this movie out. It's pretty good. They said, but it's going to surprise you because the person playing the villain isn't normally a villain. He's like a comic or a comedian. So I, pulled it up and immediately I knew exactly who it was. And I was like,
Everyone knows Jason
hey,
Bateman.
right. And I remember just looking at it going, can't really think of him playing the bad guy. There's been shows where he's not like the greatest person. Ozark.
Ozark, he wasn't a hero,
Right.
but he wasn't the bad guy either.
Exactly.
But he wasn't a good guy.
So it was something different with him in it. But I mean, the movie overall was good. I think they had great actors in that one. But yeah, I can 100% see that one. Do you want me to go with my favorite movie or do you want to go with your favorite TV show next?
We go back and forth on it
Okay.
for a minute. 'Cause I'm sure there might be more than one or two of each, and we kind of discussed a little bit about each one.
So I guess if I have to kind of look back in movies that stuck out of last year, I would have to go with Deadpool. And Deadpool 3. I mean,
Deadpool, Wolverine.
yeah. I mean, that one, everybody was waiting on it. They knew Wolverine was coming back for it. It was just a matter of time.
We don't go to the movies very often, and that was one that we were like, no, we got to see it in theaters.
Right.
And I think, like I said, we don't go very often.
Right.
So for us to go to the theaters to see that one.
I mean, it definitely was a hitter. It was one of the movies I could watch again. I probably watched it at least 3 or 4 times.
I haven't rewatched it.
I have. I watched it a couple times. Yeah, I watched it with you, and I watched it with other people as well. So, I mean, it's definitely a movie that you can watch and it not go too long. Like, I probably won't watch it again, but it definitely stood out. They definitely hit home with it. They were able to bring back Wolverine, which we all thought was done. Hugh Jackman wanted to come back.
Hugh Jackman flat out said he wasn't coming back. I was shocked.
He had so many
that
fans.
He reprised it.
He had so many fans reach out to him, including Ryan Reynolds, that had him looking over the comics and stuff. And he saw the opportunity that was being missed. And he himself said, like, he put in an interview and he said it, that there's no way that I can't come back as this. Like, I have to do this. Like, it is literally already written out for me. So I thought that was cool as shit, But yeah, movie wise, that was probably the ones that was one of my favorites out of the year.
Watching it, like me and you, I think both gassed about the same time when. Spoiler alert, I guess you could say, but at this point, you should have already probably have seen it. It's been out for a minute now. That was mid-year that it came out. It was like June, July that it came out.
It was but late summer, I guess.
Maybe August. So when Wesley Snipes went on screen as Blade, me and you kind of both were like, "Wait, what?" Like, we knew that, the comics and stuff, like, it fit.
What threw us off though was in other movies, I forget the name of it, but they did come out with another Marvel movie, and they ended up having an end credit scene with Blade, but it was their newer Blade version.
Yeah,
I forget his name.
I didn't care for that one.
Yeah, so they brought him up, and we had that talk. We're like, this probably ain't gonna be the best Blade. Like, everybody remembers Blade being
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. Yeah, I mean, that's the original Blade. That's always going to be Blade. And it was funny that they actually put that in the movies. Like, there's only going to be one Blade. But coming off of that, like, the end credit, it's like, okay, they're about to move this direction.
Now, you know how Marvel is, though. That was probably that multiverses Blade
of course,
and all that. Like, the other Blade that was seen in the credits of the other one.
Yeah, they're not going to continue with it.
It's somewhere else.
But it's cool that they hit back on there. Like, okay, well, we might be doing this, but hey.
I was shocked Wesley Snipes, because Wesley Snipes was the same way. After Blade Trinity, Wesley Snipes said, I'm not doing another one. I don't want to reprise the role. We're ending it in a good spot. Yep. Because, Blade, at the end of Blade Trinity, they made it to where, like, he didn't actually kill Dracula.
Yep.
And Blade was just a daywalker and was a vampire hunter.
Yeah.
And that was his job. He was to get out the bad ones and start to try to make protection. The world good. Yeah. He was a vigilante.
Yeah. 100%.
And the story didn't need to continue. He fought the baddest vampire of them all, Dracula himself. And Wesley Snipes, like, that was a good ending. There should be no reason to continue to drag it out.
Exactly. And it's like movies and TV shows both following the same thing. It's like a rubber band. You can only stretch it so far before it just falls apart. Yep. And I think they did great on that. Any movie, especially back in that time, any movie that made it over 3 movies, it kind of fell apart. The only one that I knew back in around those days was Star Wars. Star Wars, they nailed it. I'll put it that way. But most movies outside of that, they fell apart. Like, it was hard to watch. Now we're getting into like Fast and Furious and stuff. You can kind of see the decline and all that.
Major decline.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened all over. So, I mean,
we used to go to theaters every year.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was like every year, just about every 2 years.
Yeah. I think
to go see one.
Mine,
and then we stopped at, I think after Paul Walker died was the last one we went to theaters to see.
I was going to say 6 or 7. I think it was 7 that he passed on.
Actually, it was the one after he died, because his brother
came back,
was his stand-in.
That's right.
That was the last one we had seen.
I remember the end credits for that one, yeah.
And they've gotten just stupid with it.
I mean, that one would have been a good ending. Oh, when they showed Paul Walker like driving away, if they would have called it done right there, I think that would have been the perfect movie. Like, everybody would have been like, okay, y'all finished it out.
Well, no, they got Fast X Part 2.
Yeah.
Like,
they kept going. 100%.
Bro, what do you think you are, Harry Potter?
They went to space.
Yeah. Now that's what they're known for, because they went to fucking space.
What's next? I mean, they're going to add Transformers in?
Didn't they talk about that?
Probably.
But didn't Michael Bay say something about that potential?
I want to say there was a post or something that I looked up or that we looked up or something.
The
But
Fast and the
yeah.
Furious are going to fight join forces with the Autobots to fight the Decepticons. They can do it. If they can go to space, they can fight the Decepticons.
So when we talk about movies, what TV shows do you actually stood out though?
Man, I got a couple with it. I know you're probably going to want to do one that is in my top two because we just recently watched it, and it was actually really good.
You can go for that one. All right, I got one.
Cobra Kai. I got real big into Cobra Kai. I wasn't too big into Karate Kid, but with Cobra Kai, you don't have to watch the Karate Kid movies
Right.
to get it. They reflect and tell the backstory, and it's a little more action packed. It's not as slow. Being a TV show, they hop right into fucking fighting and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool.
I never was a big fan on it. Karate Kid I watched, it's one of those classic movies you just kind of grew up around. I remember watching all three of them. I don't believe, or the fourth one I guess would be the
one with Will Smith's kid.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching that one just because it was new at the time, but yeah, the classics, I watched all three of those. But to kind of get back into it, like I never tried. It was just one of those, I was kind of done with it. But I have heard a lot of compliments on it. They're like, dude, you got to watch this. Or like, all you have to do, they're like, if you were into the first three, like, that's all you got to watch. It'll jump up. It's like, it's a big gap of them growing up.
It is.
And that's all it was.
It's
But
a generational gap is what it is. So it's the next generation of Cobra Kai and I can't remember the other one. What was Karate Kid's dojo?
oh, you know how long it's been since I watched
Yeah,
it?
it's been a minute.
I remember watching them, but yeah, I can't
What's
remember
going
a lot.
on, Timmy?
What up? But they're actually come up making a movie now. They're having Jack Chan's coming back on his role of it, and they're going to kind of combine. I did watch that. At first, I thought it was
Karate
AI.
Kid's getting a multiverse.
No, multiverse would be there's two different ones. There's the same world, just
I'm gonna make us our mixed drink.
yeah. So I mean, it's kind of funny that you brought it up, just because they are going to be coming out with the movie here soon on it. I'm curious to see kind of how they go with it, because at first when I saw the little teaser for it, I thought it was AI. It's not AI. They came out with more trailers for it. But TV show for me, I would actually have to go with From. There's the new season that just come out not too long ago. It took me a while to watch it just because I wanted to wait for all the episodes to come out first. I think I still took off like a month or two after it got finished, airing before I watched it. But it's one of those seasons that it still hits strong based off the first season. There's a lot of shows out there. The first season's like kind of iffy. Towards the end of it, it picks up. Second one, it hits home. And then the third one just craps out. This wasn't that case. This one, they still picked up on it. There were some differences, like what all happened, but From, I think it had a lot of good jump scares to me. It had a good couple of twists in there. So for me watching that, like, it's unpredictable. I'm one of those people, like, I can watch a lot of movies and predict a lot. If a movie or a TV show is unpredictable and I have to like kind of stay glued to it, trying to figure it out, that's my entertainment. So From stuck out to me the most with TV shows. But I guess a runner-up that me and him didn't mention would have to be our show called Obliterated. So Obliterated come out back in 2023, and we'd never heard of it. It was something that we didn't hear about at the time, but we just started watching. It's definitely one of those movies or shows that is like, have you ever heard of a show called Lioness? It's basically around the military. They're pretty much on an assignment, but they make it into a comedy. They show just about anything. If you know a show called Shameless, where they didn't care what they put into it because it was making laughs and all that, they were going to add it. And with Obliterated, they definitely did that. So it kind of stuck out because there's no other shows like that.
Hello, you two luscious. What's going on, Decoy?
What up? So Obliterated, you pretty much kind of walked me into
So
that.
From first.
Okay.
To piggyback off of you with From, I watched the first season, haven't picked up on the second season yet. We had watched it a few months ago, and it was decent. I enjoyed it. It was kind of weird how they done it, where they're almost like in a dome.
Yeah.
It almost had like a horror version of WandaVision.
Yeah,
kinda
because it's a
feel.
town. I get that.
It's like you could go through the town and it's just you're going in circles.
Yeah, no getting
Uh,
out, no escape.
Yeah, and they're trying to find the escape. That one was pretty cool. That's a worthy watch. I haven't picked up on the second season though.
It's something that is different. That's what got me was there's a lot of shows that come out and they're basically remakes of something else, and you kind of see it. You're like, oh, this one's like this. With From, I couldn't describe it like that. From, I just had to kind of give details of it.
Now, Obliterated, it reminded me, from the start of that show, it had you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Just from the start of it. Because they immediately dive in. And I remember I turned it on and the episode ended and you were like, wait,
Something's got to happen.
this is a TV show?
Yeah.
You're like, this is a TV show?
I was waiting for it to keep going, and all I saw was credits.
Let's
So.
turn this fan on in the bar. It's getting a little warm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, when the credits started rolling, I was confused. I was like, what's going on here? And you're like, what are you talking about? You're like, it's a TV show. I was like, I thought we were watching a movie because it had a couple A-list actors into it. So it was one of those things I didn't expect it for it to be a TV show.
It reminded me of the adult version. Now, I'm not saying that what I'm about to say isn't an adult version of the Expendables.
I would say the Expendables with, if people remember, the Losers. Because
Yeah.
that was almost the same way, but it was definitely toned down. They didn't show what they show on Obliterated. But that's what it reminded me of.
If you haven't checked out Obliterated, it's only one season, unfortunately. It spent 10 weeks in Netflix's top 10,
You said.
or 16 weeks in Netflix's top 10, and it spent a few weeks as number one, and Netflix canceled it. I don't
Stupid.
understand how
No.
you cancel something that stays in your top 10 for so long. I don't understand that.
I mean, you would think that they treat it like the music and stuff, being up on the billboard and, number one here, and then they just like ghost it. They're like, oh, wait, yeah, we're forgetting about it.
Yep, no, we're done. It had nothing to do with the actors like backing out or anything. It was just Netflix, I guess, swallowed their pride and was like, or didn't swallow their pride and was like, no, we're going to cancel this one. Now, I think it had a lot behind it.
Oh, yeah.
To add in with the Expendables and the Losers comment, it had a twist of Hangover style inside of it too, the Hangover movie.
Yeah, that was the best
As
part of it.
well. Which, it being called Obliterated, it's called that for a reason.
Yeah.
And it isn't what you actually think it is.
Nah.
It's literally the Hangover style.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
You ever woke up not knowing where you were or who you were? Yeah, that's the definition for you.
But to just cancel something, I don't know what Netflix's deal with that is to just get rid of it.
I mean, maybe it was a one and done contract where they came out with it and that was supposed to be it, and that's where they left it. Because I really don't understand anything outside of that.
They ended it well,
Yeah.
to where it could have been ended.
I still got 2 more episodes to go on it. But from what I was reading on, they said that it ended on good terms.
Yeah, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you.
Yeah.
It ended well, but it also could continue. That's how it ended.
Well, most shows are going to be like that just in case, Oh. I like a good painting every now and then.
It's not bad. So I didn't make it normal. I just did a shot of it, and then filled the rest of it with Coke. And it's actually a good mix.
For that one, yeah. Just because it's so heavy.
Like I wouldn't have done my 50-50 on that one. Like that
No,
would have been
you
rough.
couldn't, yeah. That one I taste Coke up front is sweet, and then it's got that little kick in the back of it to let me know, hey, I'm still here. Yeah, that one's a good pour. So that was my topics of going over like movies and TV shows. Happy trees.
Video games of 2024. What were some of your most favorite video games that you played in 2024?
Okay. Give me a second here because I got to remember 2024.
We've drank since 2024.
All right, I'll put it this way. I'll go back on one of them for right now, just because I can kind of think of it. Sketchy's Contract. As the game that we played for a minute now, especially throughout the year. We were playing other games. I won't name them off just in case you might mention them. But it felt like maybe the mid of 2024, we started playing Sketchies, and we were strong on it. You know, we back to back, we found just whoever would play. And it would be like multiple of different people. You know, sometimes we might play with this person, sometimes it might be another person. But Sketchies, it pulled off of other like looting games and stuff.
Lethal Company.
Lethal Company, yeah. But it was HD. To me, that's probably the best way I'll put it, is that it looked HD quality. Like, there was no bugginess, no cartoon look to it. It was clear. And games like that, that's what I always look for, because I play like games with Unreal Engine or anything that looks realistic. Not to a sense that the game is realistic, but it looks authentic, you know. And it stuck out, and it still holds value, I think, because they're still releasing maps. They even release like holiday specials too, which we ran into that, you know, for Christmas.
Yeah. That Christmas one was fun.
And they have like good items that come through, and it's not like a pay to play. You know, you don't have to put a whole lot of money in to get like a gun or anything like that.
They don't have a paywall, I don't think.
They don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a pay to play, which is perfect, because games like that, to me, like when they do cosmetics and all that, it kind of ruins the game. They stuck out. They were like, we're not even going to go that route, and they didn't.
With them, it's cool that like you go to the vending machines and get like charms and stuff for your weapons.
My favorite is the claw machine.
Yeah,
and it takes skill. Like, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get something. You might fuck up.
When we first started playing, it took no skill. Now, yeah, it takes a lot of skill current with how they have it set up.
I remember like counting the clicks now, to like how far it would go back, so I can kind of figure out where that center is. It pisses you off, because you look at the thing, because with the machines and stuff, they actually update what's inside of it. So like sometimes there might be some cool shit that you want, and say a week or two goes by, they might redo it into something different. So when you see something you want, you're like, I got to get it now before, you know, they take it out. So if you waste all your coins trying to get it, it's going to piss you off, because you know you got to go do some more missions to try to come back to it. But yeah, I mean, Sketchies, it definitely hits home for me. I can't say it's an original, but it's definitely updated, and it holds still awareness to it. Like, everybody's still playing it now.
You know, we haven't played it in a minute, but the new Saints Row was one of my favorites of 2024. We grinded a little bit on it.
Yep.
Spent a whole day here or there playing on it, and that one was pretty cool to actually be able to beat the story together, which that's what Saints Row has been known for.
Yeah.
Being able to beat the game with your friends.
I think it was Saints Row the third is what started that. But
yeah, it was. The third one is, or maybe the second one. It might have been third.
Third, I want to say, is when online started being a big thing. The second one, I can't remember if a split screen was ever added. I don't think so, though. But yeah.
But, playing it was really cool. Just it wasn't as cartoonish as the other ones.
Right.
It had a little more seriousness to it, but it still had the Saints Row feel to it as well.
What I believe is they went back to their roots with the very first one. The first one felt more like a gang affiliated, to where you actually got jumped in and all that stuff. And then that's when it kind of went silly for a minute. The second one was like a blend of it, but yeah, the third and fourth one, they went straight silly. But I think they kind of wanted to go back to that first one and get more like a realistic version of it. Now, there's still like goofs in there. Like, don't get me wrong, like people are still jumping on jets and all that mess. So like, it's no way realistic, but it's still closer to the first one. But what's funny about that one is, you know how bad me and you talked bad about that game? We dogged it out. It was like, oh, you can't do this. You can't do it like that. It's not going to work.
Well, we waited.
Yeah.
We waited almost 2 years before we finally bought it.
Oh, yeah. We were like, we'll try it out. Yeah, I think it was on sale, too.
Yeah. I think that's what finally got us to pull the triggers. It was cheap. But it turned out to be decent. We need to spend some time and try to finish that at some point.
Yeah.
I've got to step away for a moment. I'll be right back.
So we have a couple of people watching. Like, what are some of y'all's favorite games? Timmy, I see you. Saints Row 3 was the best. I still haven't played enough of it to actually say it was the best. Uh, there's been other ones that kind of stuck out too, so I can't really say Saints Row 3 was the best. To me, Saints Row 2 is one of my favorites. But Decoy, if you're still here, if you can let us know, like maybe some of your games, or Timmy, like I said, you can hit us up on those too. I'm trying to think. Huh. I wish I was. Yeah. That was the case. We'd definitely get a lot of stuff cleaned up in there and add more stuff. Maybe actually have a tap on the wall. That'd be nice. Maybe one day. Trying to think if there's any other games that I've played though outside of Saints Row. There is a game I haven't touched, but I'm actually curious about. Rocket League. Yeah, Timmy, Rocket League was one of my favorites. I had a friend of ours that we actually knew from school, and me and him both got it. We played like crazy for a while. I know to this day he still plays it. Like he's pretty much gone pro on that game as much as he plays it. But yeah, me and him used to do a duo. Maybe me and him versus two other players. And we always had it like set perfect to where one of us would take the shot and the other one would knock it straight in. We played that game for almost a year straight. I remember getting on Spotify with that, and we made our own playlist. Like we listened to different music styles. Out of like the three of us being me, BB, and him, I was more like the rap hip hop side. You had Bronson, who was more of like the country side, and you had the other guy as being like the rock side. So normally we would like play off like all of our music styles, like each song would have like a different style to it. So when me and him started playing, it was like that with rap and rock. So like he would have his song, I'd have my song, and it would just kind of go down the line like that. But yeah, we created our own playlist to play with Rocket League just so we can listen to like the same music while we were playing together. That was one moment I remember, as we were playing, that was one thing I remember the best about the. Recently though, I haven't really messed with it. I've heard there's been a lot of updates, a lot of stuff that's been added to it. But it's probably been well over 2 years since I played it. Ooh, Decoy, there you go. Liar's Bar. I hope that's what you mean. No, you said Liar's Lair. I know of Liar's Bar. I don't know if that's what you meant or if it is Liar's Lair. Liar's Bar is definitely one of them for me. Yeah. Server issues are a lot with games nowadays because you have a lot of people that are playing games that's okay, it was Liar's Bar. I just want to make sure because I wasn't 100% on that. But yeah, Liar's Bar definitely sticks out. But going back to like the server issues and stuff, there's a lot of people that they just want to cheat with games, which like modding and stuff is one thing to a game, especially if it's single player. You pretty much do what you want with it, Now online it is rough when you play with like a sports type of game.
What were you paid to say?
About Saints Row.
I wish we were paid to say.
I said the same thing. I said maybe we actually have a tap on the wall. Yeah, I was happy. I was envisioning the future, But yeah, with server issues though, that's what it is. It's people that want to mod stuff out, and when you bring up the online games and stuff like that, anytime you go to like mod stuff out, that pushes the developers to push their security things because it's going to crash a whole lot of stuff. And that's where they run into. So it sucks that it's like that.
Server issues that aren't being addressed. And one that with server issues specifically was Friday 13th is shutting down. They decided to pull the plug and shut the servers down. But the thing is, you got people that the games are still on the shelf. And I don't know if you remember that game, Sniper Elite.
Oh yeah.
Every time they would release a new one, they would shut the servers down. But you could still buy it. And it was shitty that like GameStop and Game Exchange were letting people still buy these games,
right,
knowing that they were unplayable. Because I think it was Sniper Elite 2. Me and you were gonna buy because it was co-op or it was multiplayer or something.
Yeah, we were looking for co-op games.
But they shut the servers down and it was unplayable. You couldn't do it.
What was it? It was Godfather. Godfather 2. They had a nice little online. I remember having like people that I met through online servers, and we would play and stuff until they shut it down. And it sucked because I remember having those times playing with these people, and because they shut it down, like I lost that contact, you know. I do kind of want to hit on Liar's Bar though, because Decoy did say that that's something that we're familiar with. Liar's Bar is definitely a good game. It's new.
I haven't played the update yet. Yes, I've played LA Noire multiple times through. I've
More than
played
me,
it
I know.
probably 4 or 5 times through. That game does not get old. Rockstar, like, they should have kept that engine on a lot of things, and I probably have that unpopular opinion on some things. They had a good engine in LA Noire. They had a good engine in GTA 4, and then I feel like GTA 5 they took a step back.
There's been videos that showed proof of that.
Because the physics and stuff changed so much.
Yep.
But LA Noire had such a good physics inside of it.
You know, I was actually looking into that game around the holidays with LA Noire. I was going to get it, and I was looking up mods because modding is something I like doing, especially if it's a single player game. I don't have to worry about online or anybody, you know, I can tweak it how I want it, you know. But there wasn't a whole lot of mods, and I was trying to figure out where these mods were because LA Noire's been out for a while now, you know, a long time. Forgetting my age right now, but yeah. So with LA Noire, I was reading into it. They definitely used a whole nother engine for that game.
If I remember right, LA Noire came out before GTA 5.
Yeah.
And I think that LA was the filler before GTA, and that's why it got pushed back. GTA 5 did,
Yeah.
because they had just released LA Noire, and so that was their reasoning of, oh, well, we got money invested in this is what we're working on. Because at the same time, that's back when Max Payne's Rockstar was still working on Max Payne's too.
That was a good
And
game.
they had released Max Payne 3,
Yeah.
I think, right around the same time as GTA 5. They
Yeah.
were close to
Yeah.
being released around the same time. I think one of them had a spring date release, and one of them had a fall release.
With LA Noire, though, like it was on a different engine, and people were saying that's why they didn't want to continue with it. It was because they would have to almost recreate that whole game in order to do it right on the newer engines.
Well, it sucks because like it had so many, like, to me the graphics were ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Things that were implemented inside of it were ahead of its time at that point. Like being able to interrogate somebody and you're having to watch their facial motions and watch their demeanor and the way they answer something. Like that was something that hasn't been seen inside of a video game.
With games like that, being a detective or a police officer, you didn't really see that, especially with Rockstar games. You never had that. But I want to say that kind of goes with any game just about. There's been very minimal because it's not the only game. I'll give it that, but it's very low count on it. What were your thoughts of Liar's Bar when we first started though? 'Cause we were talking about the updates and stuff, but you know we got into it. To me, it
we
was
got in at the
something-
beginning.
Yeah,
Which is weird to say that we got in it at the beginning because we just bought it. It feels like a month ago,
Yeah.
but it's been less than a month. It's been more than a month ago. It's been probably 3 months.
at least yeah.
Uh,
To me, it was something different. Like
it's definitely one that like we played in Discord when we play. It has where you can play online with random people. I haven't played online with random people. I know you have.
yeah,
But being able to play in Discord and hear the bullshit in
Yeah.
someone's voice, and it's hard to know when one of us are bullshitting because we're always bullshitting.
yeah.
So it makes it even funner to do it. And playing with Cosmotech and Galaxy, I think I've played with Steve too, and it's kind of it's easy to call bullshit on somebody until you do it,
Yeah.
and then you're like,
And with that
Wow.
game, you can't really know where the bullet and stuff is because the punishment is getting shot in the head, but it's Russian roulette. So
we've watched someone get shot on the first try. We've watched someone go 7 times, like go past the 5, where it's supposed to be automatic. Actually, no, never mind. I lied on that because once it's full, it's full.
Yeah.
We've watched some funky shit happen. Galaxy had a theory. He was playing with the Fox.
Yep.
And he had a theory that she would say this one statement and that he knew that's when he was gonna die. And then I had her, and she would say that statement, and he's like, "You're about to die," and I wouldn't. And he's like, "What the fuck?"
What got me with that game is pretty much the people that you play with. It's like you said, you know the people around you. You know when they're bullshitting and stuff, or sometimes you don't. And when it comes to that game, it's really hard.
Everyone's full of bullshit in that game.
Yeah. When I played online with just randos and stuff, they at the time they didn't implement the voice chat. That wasn't a thing. But around the time I started playing it, they had just released it. So when I was playing with somebody, I heard them talking. I was like, shit, like how am I able to hear them? I'm not on. I was like, oh, they added voice chat. I was like, okay, this game got a little bit better for me because I can hear shit. And I was with this one group. I had probably played at least about an hour and a half with just this one table.
You were learning dice too, right?
I
That's when
wasn't
you were
learning. Like I was
dice?
good on dice. Dice was my game. But yeah, like I played with them for a little over an hour to hour and a half, and it was just straight bullshit. And like somebody would lay down something, and everybody would just look at each other and like, or like, yeah, no, look at the next person in line, and be like, call it, and you're just like, I'm calling that, like, fuck y'all. There's like, do it, you got to do it, and you do it, and it fucks you up. You're like, damn it. To me, that game is never going to die because if you play with the right people, it'll continue.
Don't say that. Don't say that. That's never gonna die. Don't say that.
If you play with the right people.
No, you know what I mean.
You're talking about server. I'm not talking about server.
One of our fucking favorite games we thought would never shut down. Prop and Seek.
A game that's supposed to be coming back. I need to check that because they said December they were supposed to hit us up with updates. I haven't checked.
We spent money on that game. It was a free game, but I think we spent $10 to get like a season
Premium.
pass type deal or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a premium package, what they called it.
And people would get so mad that you spent money on that. And they're like, "Why would you spend money on a free game?" Well, it can't help that you're broke, I guess, and couldn't afford $10. Like
Yeah.
that's what keeps this shit going, and that's probably why it shut down because there wasn't many people investing in buying the shit.
Now, I think what happened, kind of going back with what we were talking about before, is server issues with modders and stuff. I think because modding was a thing with them.
Remember, we had those ones that were hacking, that it felt like they were hacking, and they were going way up in the fucking air
Yes.
and hiding up there, and it's like, you're never going to look.
So I think that they took control of that game by taking it down and redoing
Decoy,
it.
always support the devs, even if it's free. Yes,
100%.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You should always, if it's a free game and you like it, donate. I know you've got a game that you donate to religiously. That's what he depends on. He quit his job. He ended up making enough money to quit his job, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a story-based game.
Yeah.
But he made enough money to quit his job. But that's what he lives off of is his Patreon and stuff. And,
Yeah.
And you still pledge to that, right?
Yeah.
Every month. And he doesn't update the game. It's like every 6 months, just about. He updates
Because, I mean, to give
the
off,
storyline because it takes so long to make.
yeah, I mean, to give off respect to them, like, I still donate, I think it's $5 is what I do. But I think in order to get the game, you pay like a 15. So I'll stay $5 until the game gets released. I'll switch it back over to that 15 and go back to the 5. But I mean, it's not because I don't want to pay $15, $20 a month, but
It's kind of pointless to pay the 15.
yeah, I'm showing my support by doing the $5, which I think is good enough, you know, and I'm still buying the game outright. But I still think like what he did when he first started, like there were gaps when a new game, pretty much like an episode of the game would come out. And it was so much of a distance or a gap between.
Sorry, we're not going to tell the name of the game just
No.
because we're going to get flack off of it.
But there was a big gap between releases. And he finally got enough supporters. I guess enough people started playing it and saw the potential of it, where he was able to quit his job and go for it full time. And you saw a big difference in those gaps. And it's something that I keep telling him about. You know, anytime it gets released, I'm like, hey, this game's about to come out. Like, you're going to want to play. And half the time, you know, he's in there with me. Like, okay, like, let me know when it's ready, you know, and we'll play it almost together, if not right after one another. But it's definitely one of those games that it holds value to.
Well, the guy spends a lot on models, and then he has to do the
I think music,
subtitles,
copyright, and
music.
stuff.
He had dealt with the copyright thing. I wonder how he's going to deal with that because like now you've got Suno, for example.
I
So
feel
you
like
can create. He can create his own music.
I feel like some of the songs are based on stuff like that.
You know, like our intro is made by you, with I'm assuming Suno.
Yeah, I think so.
So it like that's going to take over the music industry.
Yeah.
Because like Decoy has made me some cool sounding shit. You've made some really cool sounding shit. I've made some really cool, funny, cool sounding shit too. But I wonder if he'll implement some of that into his games. Like since he can create his own music now, and it's almost free. Like Suno, you can go free.
Yeah.
You can make so many songs a day. I don't see why he wouldn't do that.
That's the great thing with AI. Look, AI in general, like they're coming out with so much, like changing pictures to animation to now music.
He has over 500 songs from like he
Yeah.
makes a bunch.
I mean, again, like with AI is getting crazy with just about everything nowadays.
What style of games do you guys like more? FPS, RPG, adventure, etc. I'm a sandbox guy. I like open world, exploratory games.
More like an online though, right?
Not always. I mean, most of the time, yeah. You know, Ark, Call of or not Call of the Wild, Son of the Forest.
Oh yeah.
Of course, GTA or 5M. Less GTA than 5M.
Right.
Stuff like that. Open world.
I would say for me, it's more like a single person. It's definitely the story is what I get involved with. First person, third person, that really wouldn't bug me too much. It depends on the game, I guess. RPG and adventure, if as long as it ties to the story, I'm able to like move around. I don't like games where they just give you this huge ass map and it really doesn't make any sense for it, but you're just there and you can roam wherever. It makes more sense, like especially if it's a big city or something. I can look around. It makes more sense. But yeah, if it's just an open world to be an open world, it's a 50-50 on that. But yeah, definitely for me, single player storyline is what I go off of. I do play online, of course, depending on the games. But yeah, I'm more of the single person storyline type.
The Decoy said that his was open world and sandbox, and he likes the management games. Me and Decoy actually kind of have a similar style on kinds of games that we like. Like he likes like those roller coaster games,
Like the tycoons
and stuff. You know, I like Tropico, stuff like that. It's almost like a god complex, I guess.
Yes,
You
I
used to
can't
compare
play
that to a god complex. You're like, you just want to fucking be God.
Yeah.
Like, you're building a city and then you can tear it down. And you're like,
I can't do it. Like, I can't look at a game that the camera's way up here, but the people are way down. I cannot do
so we're
it.
gonna ask Timmy the same question. What style do you like?
That's Timmy. What you got?
Go ahead and tell me what position as well.
I gotta catch up with you on that one, huh? I've been sipping my beer, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, why did you go red? Why did he go red? How did he go from green to red?
He said he was being serious with it.
Yeah, I guess. You're a dictator.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think of that before.
You know, it wasn't just Tropico. I was into The Sims for quite a while. You know, I play a lot of simulators, whether it's farming, construction, police, fire. I have them. I had car mechanic, bike mechanic. I've played just about all of them. Probably the best simulator was Goat Simulator. That was the only simulator I've been able to get you in to actually play. You got me started on Goat Simulator.
I was about to say, I don't think it was that way around.
But that's what I'm saying. That was the only simulator I could ever get you to play was Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
You're the one that started it.
I still need to go back because I want to get all the trophies for that one.
So he wants to. So positions top. He loves adventure, RPG, and adventure.
First
favorites
person?
FPS, RuneScape and Elder Scrolls. I always end up going back to Elder Scrolls, man.
RuneScape. To me, that RuneScape was old, but Elder
Rune-
Scrolls,
Well, RuneScape was PC.
yeah,
Because
I remember RuneScape.
I remember like World of
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft when it was big on the PC, when it was free. I don't know if you remember that, like
Yep.
in the mid 2000s when you could actually play it for free.
Yep.
And I think now you have to pay to play.
You can reach a certain level, and then after that, progress stops. I think is what it is.
And then Elder Scrolls. I mean,
Decoy got
it's
it. Yeah.
now he's purple. Why is he changing colors?
Oh no, he likes the rainbow.
I always ended up going back. So Elder Scrolls, mine was always Skyrim with Elder Scrolls.
But you played like the old school ones. I didn't really play like Oblivion and all
I
that.
played Oblivion.
I never played. I played
uh,
Skyrim. Skyrim's where I started out at.
Well, I had went back, and that's when you could go back and play these games, and the graphics weren't going to really affect you,
Right.
because they weren't so different. Now Skyrim was night and day between Oblivion and Skyrim.
True.
And I'm shocked Elder Scrolls hasn't, like, they have Elder Scrolls Online, but I'm shocked they haven't come out with a newer game to kind of beat.
I think
Uh,
it's funny
Skyrim.
because a lot of games are doing that now. Though, look at Fallout. Fallout, they went the online route too. See, RuneScape, I remember playing. I remember the little
Damn.
tutorial.
RuneScape, it was the only game he made money off of. So were you like top 1%?
And did you actually make money, or did you make money in game? That's a good question. I should
Yeah.
say.
And then Decoy, damn, RuneScape, and you call me old?
I agree with Decoy. When he said it, I was like, okay, yeah, RuneScape, that's old.
Yeah. No, I sold a cat.
Oh.
A fucking course.
Why does that make me think of Minecraft? All the fucking
You know who it
hackers.
makes me think of? Fucking Trip.
Yep.
Fucking Trip.
Yep.
And Call of Duty. Fucking Trip. I done prestige this account 10 times. I done got rid of it. I sold my hot sauce account because he would name them the most stupid shit. It would be like hot sauce, banana split, just stupid shit. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. I think Timmy's the same age as Trip.
That would make sense. Fucking Xbox hackers, man.
Yeah, fucking Xbox hackers. Oh shit.
Little 10-year-old kid fucking pissing you off
Yeah.
because he's hacking your shit.
How old were you when you were selling these accounts?
Yeah, that's a good question. 'Cause like I said, that was a real thing. Like, you had to worry about little kids actually hacking into your shit through
Yeah.
a console. I mean, not even a
Dude,
PC.
we
a
done brought
console.
up RuneScape and made Decoy said that damn, we call Decoy old. My favorite PC game was the pinball game. You remember fucking playing it as a kid, the pinball game, and it was like left alt and left right control to do the.
I remember going to my grandparents' house. They had one of the old school computers. You know, I'm talking about the white 10-inch color.
Yeah.
And that's what one of the games they had. And that was like it was that and Solitaire. But yeah, I remember just playing, going ding, 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 ding. You know,
Because you could charge it, make the ball hurry up and go faster.
And
But
then-
you never really wanted to do because it always ended up going dead center for some reason.
yeah, I got in trouble for that because they had the premium to where if you actually
I used to run up lobbies in COD as
14
well,
or
14 or 15. I had a lot of time.
that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you.
I remember like with the pinball machine, like you could do a premium thing.
Timmy, what are you, a 98 model?
I remember with the pinball though, you can get different skins, but
97?
you had to pay for them, and it was something that I was just like, oh yeah, cool, I want a different skin, and it would charge. At that time, you know, it went through the phone bill and shit like that, so it would charge whoever was the phone bill owner, and I got in so much shit on that. But yeah, that brings back memories. I don't know where that come from, but I remember it though.
It's RuneScape. That's what brought it up. Just made Decoy feel a little older. Decoy's favorite video game was on his Nokia block phone playing Snake.
96. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Trip was either 97 or 98.
All right. Ooh, the Commodore 64, yes. Other side of the grandparents, they had pretty much all the consoles. Now, I can't say they had all of these Commodore 64 was one of them, but they had a lot of them. And it was because, you know, their kids, my uncles, they pretty much had them on lockdown. They just saved them and went to the next, you know, generation console. And I remember just kind of going back through because they would own a certain console, which meant I didn't own it. I couldn't play that console. So they would give me the older shit. So I kind of grew up on like older shit. And eventually, I think it was up till the PS2. I think the PS2 was the first console I actually owned. But I do remember playing like all the old school shit up to that point. And I was actually proud of it because I got to play some of that old shit. And I don't want to call it old, you know, I don't want anybody to feel bad on that. But I mean, it definitely was older than a lot of people didn't get to play. But I mean, playing all the old games like it made me appreciate all the old school games because there's a game I just got. The Ninja Turtles, they came out with like the arcade versions and this a whole bunch of different consoles. It had come out, and it was because I played, whether it be from the arcade machines or the older consoles back in that time, that made me appreciate that game. And you know, they made like multiples of them.
No, these are all PCs.
Commodore 64, yeah. I'm talking about just like old school, like retro, like console gens, though. That's what made me when I read the Commodore 64. But I mean, like just playing like old school shit and being able to be my age now.
I don't remember that one. I used to play the Penguin bowling game back when we had dial-up. I don't remember Penguin bowling game.
I remember playing bowling, but I don't know if it was Penguin.
I don't remember it.
I remember playing bowling games, but I don't know if it was Penguins. I have to look into it or actually see the footage of it. But yeah, I do remember bowling games kind of here and there.
All right, so we've got about 30 minutes left in this episode. My first simulator was Flight Simulator 1.0, which was just the dots on the screen.
I was just saying, I've never played that one.
Oh, yeah. Microsoft
Decoy.
Simulator has completely upgraded so much shit.
I've seen the monitor set up, so like having like 3 or 4 monitors and all of it just.
Dude, have you
covering
seen the ATS setups to where
Yeah.
these dudes will have fucking the dashboards of a real
Have the
truck, have the
rig and
gear,
everything.
yeah, have all of it, and then have the screens just completely wrap around, and they can literally just like drive an actual truck and look over and see out that mirror or that mirror.
It was actually one of those videos that I watched because I know you remember it. That I actually had the.
Well, you know, I talked about doing it with my PC because I've got the wraparound to do it.
You remember I had the program though for like the head tracking setup, and it didn't have you call you buy anything new. It was literally just off your camera, and I was watching videos like that of their setups, and someone had just listed their whole setup, and it said for the head track movement, I use this program. I tried it out, and y'all saw like it literally worked. Like I didn't have a problem with it, but my setup is literally a monitor here and a monitor there, so it's really not a whole lot for me to look at. But like with yours though, you're able to, you know, that would be perfect for yours. But we haven't played that in a minute.
I need to get back into it. I missed the Christmas sale, and because normally that's when I hit up all of the states that have
Yeah.
come out in a year, and I missed it this year.
I don't think it's one that we have to get, right?
No, it's a bunch. It's like 5 or 6, maybe 7. I know Decoy has stayed up on it. Asked Jess about playing the Sega racing game at her mom's house when Danny had his Jeep. Well, she's with the kid right now. I can't, unfortunately, bring the producer in tonight,
But we will
but
ask.
I will
though.
ask her.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm curious now.
but we got about 30 minutes left. Are you curious? You want me to go get the producer?
Well,
Come in here?
I was just saying I'm curious to know, but I'm not saying right away.
Bring the kid.
All right, Timmy. Looks like you got your answer on this one.
All right, the producer is on her way in here. She's actually bringing the kid. This is going to help our view count. The baby's going to help the view count. He helped us last time.
Yeah, it helped out with shorts and stuff. I think we gained a lot
They're
of
bringing
views.
the 2%.
You actually saw that on that one. We had comments on our shorts.
Yes, we never have comments on shorts, but people were like, "Look at the baby." He really just needed to pee again. He's getting old. No, you could confirm. I did
Yeah.
not. I was not out long enough to go to the bathroom. You want to be off camera or on camera? All right, well, come here. Here, I'll hold him.
Hunter asked first.
No. Come here, buddy. No, he's going. He's doing straight mama.
So
Hey, Remy, you want to talk on the TV?
he's the third one up. That's Jess.
That was a
He wants
long.
down. Yeah.
That was a long time ago. He wants his.
Go get it and come back.
Well, Timmy, you made her laugh. There must be a story on that one. I'll give you that.
Actually, I guess Decoy's a little behind too. He needs Arkansas, Iowa, Missouri, and Louisiana are up next. Iowa, Mississippi. Okay. Iowa, Missouri, and Louisiana are up next. So he just needs Arkansas.
Let me look up because I have it in my wish list. So Nebraska was the last one I needed, and that would have been complete. I don't know if anything came out after Nebraska.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Arkansas was
So
out.
we may only be like 2 behind.
Not too bad.
You got Texas. You're
Yeah.
done Texas.
I like I said, everything up to Nebraska. Nebraska to
Because
me
they
was the
went back
newest
up
one.
top, so you might not have Iowa either.
I have to look them up, but yeah, Nebraska was the newest one that I didn't get. So Timmy said to ask you about it.
That was a very, very long time ago. I think it'd be better if he told it because he probably remembers it a lot better than I do.
Oh, we can't let him tell it. He's in the
Bathroom.
he can't tell it because we don't have Discord set up tonight.
Oh, then I'll have to wait on that story.
Damn, Timmy. I guess good try. But you did allow us to bring the baby on, so you could barely see his head, but y'all could see him.
Hey, you gonna talk? Hey, you gonna talk?
What are those? Those?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's content. She said, mm-hmm.
Got hot chocolate and more.
Yeah, Decoy, Nebraska was the last one that I didn't get. So anything after Nebraska is what I'm missing. 0.025. Yeah, pretty much.
So we've got about a little less than 30 minutes left. We're gonna move over to general conversation. Kind of just talk about whatever the hell we want to. We had some topics that we wanted to hit. We created a docket, which was something new for us.
Yeah.
We created a docket that kind of said we're going to spend this amount of time on this, we're going to spend this amount of time on that, and we've pretty much stayed true to that. So
Yeah. And we
Good
actually
job,
had,
guys.
people jump in with comments and were able to contribute. So I think that was something else too.
so how do you want to start off general conversation? I did the last one, so you go ahead and you pick something you want to talk about for general side.
Tell you what.
I'll be right back.
So I was going to push it on to our producer to ask a question, but I guess I got to change it now. Going with what we have now with our new setup and
Okay,
stuff
what's up here?
outside of the green screen, because it always gets brought up about this being different than the green screen. What's some of the benefits that you see from it, from doing this versus what we had outside of the green screen?
The setup is almost non-existent now. We can literally just plug and play. I mean, we mounted the camera. We've got the TVs mounted in two opportune positions. One of them being the logo is always on the TV, and then we've got the comments TV right across from us. So we place stuff in spots to benefit us. But I think the biggest thing is that it's not as time consuming to set up. We literally can be up and going in less than 30 minutes now. Not like it was before where it took us all day to pretty much get set up, and us being you because you had most of the front work behind it.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I liked about it was not only the bar, like pretty much what y'all see right now in the shot, is pretty much our atmosphere around the bar itself. Like we have the chairs going around it. So like sometimes when we invite guests over, they come on to the podcast. They have their own guests, whether it be like somebody that's going to drive them home after they've been drinking, or just people that want to come and watch and hang out with us too. Because we have offered, drinks and stuff away from people that were on the podcast itself. We had now actually have like a little setup for them to sit down and watch us, and they're outside of view. You wouldn't be able to tell. So to me, like it's more, I guess, more a homey feel to where people are just more welcome to join us right now. And that to me was one thing that hit me, because before all of our setups, like how we had our angles and stuff, it was always hard to like have people walk in, Now people are able to like slip in. They can kind of be seen, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be on camera. And they can just pretty much hang out. They have enough room. They can hang out on the sideline. And with us being a bar, we can fix them a drink, pass it over, and you would never get to see who it was. But we can kind of offer that to them. I like that.
We had started the night off. Me and you were making funnies before we had started. And I had just cleaned our just cleaned our glasses.
You were polishing the
And I was
glass. Yeah.
polishing the glass, and I said, "This is how we should start the episode: is what barkeeps actually do, because that's what we are now. We're barkeeps. That's what we wanted. That's the feel that we wanted with this was to give that barkeep feel, and that we're taking care of you guys as the audience. You guys are our patrons as the audience."
That's what got me was it's more welcoming to our guests. Whether or not that means a guest sitting here or a guest sitting off screen, it's definitely more welcoming to them.
You mean I've been fired from the bar? What the fuck?
I mean, if you actually come behind the bar one night,
I mean, remember, we have it set up for the virtual guests to be behind us. So you are the third barkeep. And that's how that's supposed to go. You as a guest become a barkeep.
I mean, you can always get yourself a glass and just kind of polish it on the screen,
I'm sure you have plenty of whiskey glasses.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we lose our producer, because the little one is ready to leave out of this room, do you have anything for us?
Yes, Timmy, I'm still awake. I saw that comment. Timmy, hold on, baby.
All right. Well, our producer and mini producer,
You mean the bar manager?
quarter drunk is he's ready to leave out of here. He's ready to go get some 2%.
It might be 20% after that little hit right there. But
Bye, guys.
see ya.
Thank y'all for coming on.
Hold on, wait for mommy.
All right, Timmy. So you heard it. We're gonna have to get that story another way, but we'll get back to it. You asked the question. We tried.
You'll have to talk about it when you come back on.
Yep. And who knows? Maybe another aftermath episode. We get to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, actually, that's perfect. Because we brought that up at the beginning with the aftermath thing. Is Timmy is in charge of aftermath.
Yeah.
Um,
He's pretty much the host on that.
I'll always be on aftermath just because I've got the PC to stream it. But when Timmy, yep.
We go.
When Timmy gets his new computer, maybe he can stream and stuff. Maybe I'll give him managing rights to the WBB channel, and he could take over Aftermath altogether.
I mean, I like that because, you know, we talked about having like an after, you know, I'm not trying to say aftermath, but like an after
Bloopers.
after the podcast episode, not even bloopers, but just after the podcast, talk about, you know, how we thought the episode went. And it was kind of weird because me and you would go into it, but then we would also jump right back into an episode. So like actually having a host be the one to ask us questions, I like that.
I'm glad that I picked Timmy to be
Exactly,
dedicated
yes.
to that, and it's not one of us that is the dedicated host to that. Because
Yeah.
it's hard for us to get outside of the Two Drunks mindset when we're behind the camera.
And not only that, it's like we know Timmy is going to be able to watch us. Like I can't say that he's going to be here every episode, watch us for the full length or whatnot, but he's definitely going to be here to watch the episode in most of its entirety. And he's going to give it his all. He's going to come up with questions that we didn't even think about during this episode.
Y'all
And
check
ask us
out
stuff.
last night's Aftermath. You'll get to hear what happened on New Year's from the Two Drunks
Yeah.
and why the episode didn't get aired. And that was we split the episode, Timmy and I did. We split it with the Unfiltered, WBB Unfiltered, and Aftermath. So check that out. The first hour or so was about the Aftermath.
I had a good time on it. Like it was fun. He asked a lot of questions I didn't really think of.
He's got his work cut out for him though, because it's more than just Two Drunks that Aftermath is about.
Yeah.
It's Squadcast. It's Two Drunks. It's the WBB Unfiltered. I mean, he's got multiple podcasts to kind of work with and come up with questions and stuff between and create a whole entire episode.
What I like about it is he's pretty much standing as a guest right now. Like, I mean, as a viewer, not as a guest, my fault. But as a viewer, though, he can see certain things that we don't pay attention to. Like, he can be like, well, why didn't they hit this or what happened here? I mean, you didn't even think nothing of it. So when he comes up with this question, we're like, oh, okay, so I guess let me try to explain this. Like, that's what I like about that. He's able to see stuff that we don't.
He said, I've got a lot of podcasts to filter through for sure.
Yeah.
Well, good thing is they happen sporadically.
Yeah.
This one is specifically happens more regular. In 2025, it's going to happen more regularly. Unfortunately, life happened this year, and we had a lot of shit going on the last 2 months, and kind of dropped off for a little bit. But that's not the overall goal.
Well, I mean, with holidays that come around, everybody understands around October to December. That's when all the major holidays are coming through. So it's harder to kind of come up with episodes just because of holidays, whether it be because of work or because of family. You know, we have lives outside of the podcast. I hate to put it that way, but I mean, it gets harder to do, you know, episodes around that, but we do our best. And so where BB's coming from is we're going to give it our all before, say, October. They hit a whole bunch of episodes coming in. That way, when we hit October and we get down like limited episodes, we have enough underneath our belt. And that's something that we always, you know, strive for is our content. We want to make sure we have enough content out there. So it's not a diss between our guests or our viewers. It's just, it gets tough, you know, for holidays. But we're never going to quit. If you can hear me. Loud ass.
Sorry. All right, guys. Sorry, making our last drink.
Gotta get it right. But yeah, so we are striving to, you know, come up with more episodes and stuff. It's just hard to do around holiday time. So we do apologize, but we try to make it happen the best we can. We talked about New Year's special being one of those things that it just couldn't air. We think everybody, you know, was a part of that. I think we all had fun, but if you were to see the video, you would understand why we didn't release it. So that's the goal on that one. But I mean, we do have our other specials that we're going to be working on. St. Patty's is the biggest one coming up, March 17th, just in case y'all don't know. So be looking out for that one. We will be here for that. It'll be that Sunday night. We always try to, you know, expand our content as much as possible. And that's what we're going for. Hopefully we can get back into our routine of maybe 2 episodes a month at least and get back going. We'll start pulling back our new guests. I know we have our reoccurring guests every so often, but we do have new guests that are on the lineup. They're just waiting for a call. And it's because of the bar, the new setup you see. We wanted to get this down pat before we start inviting more people over.
Still new infinity bottle this year. All right.
Yeah, so that was something we were going to announce too. Good question.
So the infinity bottle is empty. Unfortunately, we had to commit alcohol abuse,
Just a little though.
and it wasn't much left in this. It was probably about that much left. That got poured out. I washed it out, and we will have a shot going to this tonight.
We kind of talked about that too with all of our specials. We do want to kind of hit on the infinity bottles, but at the same time, we want to make sure it gets cleaned out and we add more back to it and do a fresh start. So that's where this New Year's is coming up at. You know, we're hitting our fresh start.
Decoy said you still need a C and say to pick your poison. Infinity bottle equals battery acid. Can you elaborate more on that we need a C and say to pick your poison?
Yeah.
Because our poisons get picked by the guests typically.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode wasn't picked by us. It was picked by being a Christmas present. And it was just what we had on hand.
Which is what we normally ask for. Like if you're not able here to be as a guest, even as a viewer, recommend bottles to us. You know, that's what we'd like to hear.
The pick doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, he's got to show me that one. But yeah, I mean, we always ask for recommendations of stuff that y'all want to see next, whether or not it be just me and him, or if someone's able to show up and bring their own bottle too, you know, we'll have to be able to pay for it too.
I'll pull it up on the TV.
There we go. But yeah, we always ask for recommendations. What bottle do y'all want to see next? Like I said, the guests, if they have a recommendation, they can bring it with us, or hell, we'll buy it for them. But we're always looking and trying new shit. Lansons.
That the picture you're talking about, Decoy? Is the yummy, you're pretty, I'm pretty? Is that the picture you're talking about? If not, send me what you're talking about again.
Yeah, we'll show it on there. Lansons, are you familiar with that?
I am not familiar with Blanton's.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Let's see let's look it up.
This is what our podcast is about, looking up new shit, and we'll try it on another episode. Might not be the very next one, but hell, we'll get it. See, Timmy, you asked about it, so is it something that you're familiar with? Okay. I do like the bottle design.
Okay. I know what he's talking
But I mean, I do like that bottle design. Hopefully, y'all can see it on the TV, but it's kind of cool.
about. Very good.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that bottle design. You don't see too many bottles like that.
Love it with a nice cigar and some smoked ice. Yummy. Me and Hunter had actually talked about that.
Yeah.
Doing a cigar episode and having some bourbon and a cigar. But I've heard bad things about cigars, that like the big ones, that if you're not a normal cigar smoker, you could get really sick off of that.
But you got to think that's a lot of tobacco in those. It's like you're pulling a whole lot. I've done it before and I can only smoke so much of it. Smoking a whole one, I can understand that. Of course, they're numbered. I can't remember how many there are.
So as for Decoy, his idea is this here. To use that spinning wheel, your child's toy. This specific one that is shown has like the different restaurants and stuff on it. We'll have to sit down and kind of figure out what we would want on that, and more than likely we would just use a general spin the wheel and not one of these.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea behind it though. Like
It would be like take a shot or something of that nature and have different things that you do. It would be good for a special.
As I was about to say, is special wise, yeah. Because
Down in Hell, dummy.
it was
5 or
hard.
6, I believe. Yeah. Down in Hell.
For that comment, I always like to kind of smell it and then take a good hit off on it. But with the whole spin the wheel thing with specials, we actually ran into that, which viewers now y'all aren't able to see it unless you were there. But when it came to like us playing card games and us having to drink, and we were like, oh, we'll just do a shot instead of a drink because a shot would count more than a couple of drinks. Like, was it 5 drinks would be a shot? We could spin the wheel instead of saying, oh, we have to do this sort of shot. Spin the wheel, and then that would choose our shot. So I mean that'd be kind of cool to do.
I'm fixing to try this that we got here over ice.
It's still a little rough. It definitely eased it down a bit, but it's not like the other ones where it just takes the whole thing away. It's still good though. I like it, but it's still got a kick. Still there, right? Yeah. Still got the bite.
It reminds me of a scotch. Like scotch, it doesn't matter if you do it straight or do it over ice. We haven't hit on a scotch on the podcast, but
Yeah, I've read that too. Like I said, I only had maybe 1 or 2 cigars in my life, and they weren't the best cigars or anywhere close. But I definitely didn't finish it. It was definitely half. I have to roll it, save it for the next day or something like that. But the whole thing it is rough. Like I can get the whole part where you would get sick on it.
we'll definitely do it.
Yeah, I'd be down.
I want to try it. It's been requested a couple of times for us to try it. So, overall, guys, what's your opinions on how this episode went? We'd like your feedback on that. Because finally we were back on our format. It's been a minute since we've actually been able to do our format.
Yeah.
And us sticking to the format this time, was it more enjoyable watching the topics? Did the topics keep your attention? Is there anything that we could have done better this episode? What can we do better in 2025 as a whole to make it more enjoyable for the viewer?
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure Timmy would have stuff when we come up on the aftermath. But I mean, any other viewers and stuff, if y'all can think of anything, let us know. I'm pretty sure Timmy is going to read through them and he's going to ask those questions for aftermath as well. This is something we look forward to, is always progressing. What could we have done better? That's what we take in consideration.
No, we haven't done any Scotch, so no Johnny Walker.
It's nothing that we haven't like steered away from on purpose. It's just we haven't hit on it. We've talked about it in the past. I don't think we'll do a whole lot with it, like just back to back. But
Scotch isn't made to be mixed.
yeah, it's hard.
It's made to either be drank neat or on the rocks, which is fine. I'm sure that we can do that. Don't spend any less than $5 to $10 for a good cigar from a true cigar parlor. We have a few good cigar parlors around here that I know of that are reputable.
Cigar Haven is around here. I've been there. They have a lot of shit.
But yeah, I agree with you. The $5-$10 thing. My thing is, am I gonna have to buy a cutter, or can we get them to cut it for us? We're gonna have to buy the special lighter.
Cigar Haven,
Stuff like
they'll
that.
cut it for you if you ask. They have it.
But Timmy, to finish answering your question, like Hunter said, we're not going to steer away from Johnny Walker or Scotch period. If it's requested, then more than likely, yeah, we'll buy a bottle of it and try it.
It's just that it's all formats, so it's kind of different for us. It's one of those things that's going to be kind of hard to pour off into an infinity bottle. So it's like we can't really hit too much on it.
It's not hard to pour off in the infinity bottle. It would go in with the whiskey, of course.
But if you had like back-to-back episodes, is what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. Like you would see it. I mean, yeah, if it's recommended, we'll do it. Get a cutter, yeah. Which cutters aren't
Cutters
too
aren't-
much, yeah.
Maybe end up making that a regular thing. We're going to turn this into the cigar whiskey room. We drink so much whiskey, it's not even funny. Like we actually have more clear sitting on the clear side than we do on the whiskey side. That's because we drink more whiskey.
Yeah.
and clear. The clears normally sit after an episode's done.
I mean, we already talked about getting like a little trough or something to pour the peanuts and stuff into. So
I mean,
we're gonna go all out with the bar eventually.
You've been eating on peanuts a little
I
bit
have.
tonight.
I mean, we have them here, so might as well.
These Cajun mix Ozark peanuts. If you guys see these at your stores, buy them. They are freaking amazing.
Shout out to Miss T. You know who you are. She bought me a 5-pound bag of shelled in peanuts. So
So I think Timmy's getting at. So have a multiple Scotch episode. And
just a
exclude from
Scotch.
the infinity bottle. So we just try different scotches and smoke cigars that night. That seems like a night that we should have many guests on
yeah,
and just like a chill night.
Yeah.
Like move off the format and have a chill night. We're not getting drunk. We're just sipping on
not
scotch.
looking to finish in the bottle. It's
Yeah,
just trying
we're
different
We're
ones.
sipping on scotch.
A sampler.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. Moving to vaping, my 2 yearly cigars are only 2 things I truly miss from smoking.
Yeah, I never really hit on cigars. I've had maybe 2 or 3 cigars.
Are there any cigars that you recommend? Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Are there any cigars that you recommend?
Yeah. With me and stuff, like I said, I've only done 2 or 3 cigars. So I have no experience with cigars. So if you have any to recommend, let us know.
I mean, where my cigar thing goes is going to be, as far as mine goes, you're like Black and Milds, and Swisher Sweets, and those are not really cigars.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
They call them cigars, but they're not.
if you want to go at beginner stages, yeah, I get that. Not now. It's been over. Okay, that's fair. Is there any
You
cigar?
don't remember any of the brands that you used to smoke?
Yeah, what was one of your favorites? Even though it may not be around now, but what was one of your favorites, if you remember?
We were just getting asking pretty much what, in general, what was your favorite when you did smoke?
Yeah.
Congratulations of being 8 years clean of smoking.
Yeah, cigars especially. Cigars I know are heavy. Not to say that they're bad for you, but I mean, every so often, I get it, celebration. Steve Harvey, he's a big cigar smoker. He says it just relaxes him. He said anybody that tells him don't do it, he said screw y'all.
There's one that Maker's Mark has. That one is pretty good. Man, we were just looking at Maker's Mark earlier.
They have a cigar though? Or is that a
I'm assuming he's talking about a Scotch.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, that's gonna be a new. You ain't about to pull up porn, are you? Oh, a cigar.
Okay.
Really? Okay. Decoy said I just got the recommended one from Parlor for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Okay. But yeah, I did not know Maker's Mark made a cigar. Like I said, I'm not big on cigars. I've had them, like 2 or 3 of them, but nothing big on it.
They're not cheap.
Well, it's Maker Mark's brand, so I don't expect them to be cheap at all.
Bourbon cigar and a 10th anniversary bourbon cigar.
We able to press
They got
X on this?
Some
Okay.
small one. They got some small ones as well.
We wouldn't need anything big anyways. I like how they bring in like the wax part of it. That's cool
and
shit.
Like they keep with the format of
The bottle,
um,
yeah.
Makers. That is cool.
That might be something to look into though. Like I think that's kind of cool that Makers does it. So like if we were able to get a bottle of Makers, whatever, bottle, but it kind of pair it with the cigar, that would be cool. I think Lip at one point had mentioned something about cigars at one point. So like I think that'd be cool.
One that we've steered away from has been that has been requested, but I'm not really that guy, and you're not really that guy either. Is Acid has a good selection, but they're cheaper. Wine. We've been asked to do wine, do like a wine tasting, and pairing it with like cheese and stuff like that. That's just not me.
Not me either.
I'm not that classy.
It's too thick. Trying to swallow it down. If I got to do multiple gulps of it just to get one little, no, I'm not.
I don't care for wine. I'm not a wine drinker. I don't care for
Same.
it.
What was it? It was a Mad Dog. We were like, oh, we're gonna try Mad Dog, and we found out like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. A mead episode, we've talked about doing mead.
Yeah.
I know at one point you were looking into buying
Kit like
the
to make
kit
it.
to make it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, on the New Year's special that wasn't aired, we aged. I got a whiskey infusion kit. So there's Jack Daniels inside of this bottle here, and it's got chocolate wood chips.
I think it's dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate wood chips inside of this bottle. It's got aged for 5 weeks. After the 5 weeks, we have to drain or strain the chips off, and then we will infuse it with a flavor.
Yep.
So we'll have Lip back on in 5 weeks. Then we'll have him on a week after that to actually try the finished product.
Yeah, because he was here when we made it, so only right for him to be here when we try it.
Yep.
He's part of our experimentation on this. Which I will say, we did have help putting it all together. We asked people, in that podcast or that episode is, what do y'all think? And I think that was kind of cool too. It wasn't just us three at that point. It was everybody who was here that night.
And it probably won't be the last time that we do this. We'll end up doing it again. I've got multiple wood chips and stuff to try different ones. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely try it. Do you hear their voice resonating or both mics picking up?
Testing.
Hopefully the audio didn't mess up. It does kind of look like my mic's dropping a little bit.
Let's see. I know mine's picking up. Almost looks like, okay, yeah, there it goes.
It looked like mine was dropping. Okay, maybe it was yours that was dropping. Anyways, guys, it's been a good episode. I'm so glad that you guys were able to listen to this episode and to give your opinions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed us going back to our normal scheduled content and back to our format. I guess I'm going to polish off this after we end the episode, but till next time, I'm the Delta BB.
Honored. We'll catch y'all next time. Cheers.
Our souls, cheap whiskey flows, falling through the night, no place to go. Broken dreams and shattered fights. Two drunks and a bottle takes flight. Empty pockets, shattered holes, swimming liquor, drowning woes. Faceless shadows, fading light. Two drunks in a bottle outside. Bleeding hearts on dirty ground. Shattered bottles echo sound. No salvation, nowhere found. Two drunks in a bottle bound. Hit the pavement cold and hard. No redemption, no wild card. Eyes of sorrow, tales untold. Two drunks in a bottle cold. Rusted nails and cigarettes. All regrets, no safety nets. Loud and reckless till the dawn. Two drunks in a bottle gone. Bleeding hearts on dirty ground. Shattered bottles echo sound. No salvation, nowhere found. Two drunks in a bottle bound. Bleeding hearts on dirty ground. Shattered bottles salvation, no